Hi, everybody. Before we head into what's next, I wanted to take a minute, or maybe a few, to pause. When I started I'm Here Too, I didn't really know what shape it would take. I just knew that I wanted to create the kinds of conversations that helped us see ourselves in each other. The in between moments, the quiet pivots, the small flashes of recognition that say, oh, yeah, me too. Over this first season, I've talked with artists, coaches, writers, parents, friends, leaders, founders, and a few people who are all of those things at once about how we grow, create, and stay connected while everything around us keeps moving. So, before I close this first chapter, I wanted to revisit some of the ideas that have stayed with me, and maybe with you too. Because if season one had a through line, it might be this: home isn't something we find once, it's something we practice over and over and over again. Off we go. Enjoy. We started where all stories start, with the people who came before us, the ones who gave us permission and pressure, who taught us what mattered and what to question. For me, that begins with my mother.
My family was important to me, and career was important. But my career was important in the sense that it helped me do what I wanted to do for my family and with my family. I didn't look at it totally separate. I felt that whatever I was doing at work, whatever I could share would enrich your lives.
She lived work life integration before the term was trendy, folding purpose into family and family into purpose. Her message was simple: no one defines you but you.
For me, it was important that no one define you by any child by limitations.
So, again, I think sometimes we as parents see our children or with our children and almost have a track in mind that we don't share. I know you're brilliant. If you wanted to be a doctor, you could be a doctor. If you wanted to be a lawyer, you could be a lawyer. But because I didn't connect the dots about what we have been doing, and that I knew you enjoyed it, but as a career path, I still was sort of gobsmacked and probably inappropriately. I just didn't connect the dots.
Ara, I met you when you were just turning 6. I knew you were going to be a lawyer, so that was not a question. But when you said you wanted to be a visual artist, it just didn't. I couldn't get my head around it. Although I knew you spend so much time, with Roger, and again having your own, photo studio and gallery and stuff at a young age and that kind of thing. But then what really, really turned me, around a little bit was when you went into HR. Because as a business journalist, people development and corporate management and all of that was so much of what I covered and wrote about, edited about, practiced as a leader. And that also just didn't seem like it fit in the era that I knew. So, but then, like everything else, you made it your own. It wasn't HR the way I knew HR, that traditional, HR. It was what was emerging as people management, people skills, talent management, and so again, learning from watching you, seeing how it evolved. Again, assumptions can get you into a lot of trouble. And I think you're right, Rogers. Probably in all the things that we've ever done as parents is I don't think we reacted quite the way we should have when you said you wanted to be a visual arts major.
I love that. And I love that my parents didn't just push, they stepped back. What I've learned from them is that growth requires space, space to try, space to fail, space to be misunderstood until you aren't anymore.
Well, I don't. I'm glad that we stepped out your way because we wouldn't. I don't think there's any formula or anything that we could have uh, uh, prescribed or dictated that would have generated what you do. It is that ability to go beyond. You saying what you learned at this place or what you experienced at that place, but you never stopped there. So if and I think that's important because you're going to take it to another level. And one thing about being an editor or being, a educator or anything, you got to know when to get out of the way of the people that you are working with, because you're right. You can't. You can hold people back. You push them forward to stuff, but then you just got to get out the way.
When I think about what I've inherited, it's not really a map so much as a mindset that life and love and work, they don't happen in separate rooms. They share a wall and sometimes an open door. If we consider that Act 1, then I think about that as what we inherit. This next act, Act 2, is about what we make of it. The becoming, the practice, the choice to keep showing up, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. Some of our growth we do not choose. Like things happen to us and we have to kind of learn the lesson. But one of the things that jumped out, you said you get to choose your hard.
Yeah. And we could reframe that there are things that happen to you, to maybe the thing is happening for you. And you get to choose your hard. It's another famous saying. It's communication is hard, but not communicating is equally hard because you're having that communication inside, right? So choose your hard. Dieting is hard. Not, being healthy is also hard. Choose your hard. No path is easy. Budgeting is hard. Being in debt is hard. Being married is certainly hard. Being single, people, it's hard. Being divorced is hard. So all of these things are hard, quote unquote, but you get to choose which hard is going to get you to the end result.
I think about that a lot, choosing your hard. It's the difference between struggle that drains us and struggle that shapes us.
Just like being open to what comes and knowing that, and this kind of comes from, I think this probably comes from just parenting my daughter Fiona, like the culture's yardsticks for value are not particularly rewarding ultimately, and they only really feed the ego or make you feel shitty when you don't measure them or meet them. But there are these other yardsticks, these other ways of measuring value that I think are transcendent.
I used to get bullied a lot in middle school for having a small nose or whatever strange reason. And I spent quite a lot of time just by myself because kids didn't want to hang out with me and I didn't know how to pass the time. And one day I thought, why not start drawing on my sketchbook? And then I remember drawing this lighthouse, and it was the first drawing I've ever made. And I felt like I gained my voice. I wasn't invisible anymore.
Oh, things don't just change because you constantly change, like you constantly up and change everything. Things actually change even if you stay put.
Maybe it's about the repetition. Maybe it's those small acts that turn into belonging. Maybe that's what becoming really is. Doing the next right thing again and again and again until finally it starts to feel like you.
Be good to yourself, because at the end of the day, when you look back on your life, what are the thoughts you want to have about who you are as a person? And what impact did you have on the world? And is the impact that you want to have?
It's amazing when you can inherit a mindset and when you can apply it toward becoming the person you really feel like you're truly meant to be. But without community, without connection, what's it all for? And so if we think about the last act of this season, I think about it in terms of connection. Not the loud kind, but that quiet, steady kind. The kind that says, I see you changing, and I'm going to keep seeing you. And even more, I'm going to hold space for you, and I'm going to be here while you keep changing.
It's like when we met and we developed together, we, put a string between us. And we've just held on to it.
When I looked at it from a certain angle, it was lonely because there's no other person who's doing the exact same thing. There's no other person painting 10,000 branches a day. So I felt a little like a satellite, but then I changed my perspective and found out, even if there are not people doing the exact same thing, there are people doing things that are on the same horizon, and we can all communicate through that.
We create these silent agreements with our friends, our family, our children, where we kind of put them into a certain space, and then we don't let them evolve, and we want them to stay in that space. So one of the things I've learned as having two adult daughters, I had to get to know them as adults.
Maybe connection is just the practice of staying curious about each other, about what's still possible, about what you'll be able to create next, apart and together. When I started this show, I thought I was making a podcast about creativity, identity, all those spaces and intersections in between. And what I found was connective tissue. These conversations, these people, they reminded me that home isn't just where we land, it's how we live into change, into community, into creativity. It's the way that we let each other grow and call it love. That's what it means to become while in motion.
Enjoy life. Just keep it broad. Experience things. If I could say, just enjoy experiences.
No matter what fork in the road, the ways that all the different decisions that I made and all the forks in the roads that I've taken, like, it still brought me back here. Still brought me back to where we grew up. Still brought me back home.
Well, thank you so much for listening and for being a part of this first season of I'm Here Too. If you've been here since the beginning, you know the topics we've covered: purpose, belonging, becoming, all the ways we stay in motion without losing ourselves. I'm going to be taking a short pause before season 2. I'm going to take some time to rest, reflect, and most excitingly, record what's next. In the meantime, you can find all of the past episodes for season 1 wherever you listen or at imheretoo.club. And if you've ever found yourself in these stories or found a little piece of yourself you didn't expect, thank you. That's the whole point. Until next time, I'm Ara Tucker, And this is I'm Here Too.